little excavator, digger saws, goodnight construction site. And those books talk about like every manner of construction vehicle you could imagine. But there's one that I noticed in a lot of them that doesn't get a lot of attention, and that's the trailer. Now, if you look at any building site, one of the first things you'll see is the trailer. It's an unassuming white box, maybe at best has a window, and yet there's people in and out of that trailer all day, every day. At the beginning of the day, you see a couple guys go in there, and they come out with hard hats on, and they go out to the job site. And after lunch, a couple guys go in there, and they come out with hard hats on, and they go out to the job site. And a few times throughout the day, guys go in and come out, and they're going from the trailer to the job site. So what about that trailer is so important? See, inside that trailer is the blueprint. Each day, multiple times a day, the builders come in and they check the blueprint, and then they go put that blueprint into action. The blueprint is the plan, the model to make the building work. It's the image of what the building is hoping to become, is trying to become. This space right here is our trailer. And that cross that you can see that hangs above the altar, that hangs behind the tabernacle, that is our blueprint. Here is the place that we can see our lives unfolding in 3 dimensions. That we can contemplate the breadth and length and height and depth of the love that God has for us. Here is where we can see the plan that Christ has for our lives. To be nailed to the back of that house. Nothing, not even the best and noblest parts of us, are fit for heaven, as they are now. And nothing, not even the least and weakest part of us, not even the most like animal-based parts of us, can go on unless we let it submit to death. This is the pattern that Christ laid out for us. Take up your cross daily and follow him. Lose our lives for Christ's sake and the sake of the gospel, and we'll find our lives. Die with Christ and we'll live with him because Christ has been raised from the dead. If we want to be the best men and women we can be, the best husbands and fathers, the best wives and mothers, the best sons and daughters, if we want to be the best deacons and deacon candidates that we can be, we have to give ourselves up. We have to submit to the cross and trust that it's Christ who transforms us. In fact, Christ who does all of the work in us. This blueprint is the basis for all of our works of charity. This blueprint is how we become ministers in the marketplace. This blueprint is how we become the icon of Christ the servant. We have to do more than just make time in our schedules for Jesus. We have to do more than make room in our lives for Jesus. We have to reorient our entire existence towards him. And let everything else come out of that relationship. Let us then model our lives on the blueprint of the cross. Let us frequently surrender ourselves to the model that Christ has set before us. Christ alone